Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Saturdays on Lotus Lane. We're missing a body over here. Tyler's playing softball tonight, but me and Cody, we're going to give you our pick'ems of the week for week 8 or week 9?
That's a good question. There's so many of them.
Yeah, it's week 9.
I think it's week 9.
And so we've had a great year so far. We all have winning records this week. We all went 7-1.
Yeah.
Cody, you picked. Who did you pick that lost? Because I picked Auburn to beat Missouri, and that was a heartbreaking loss. You don't remember who you picked?
Hold on. I'll think about it. Go ahead and Tyler.
That's okay. So overall, we have our records are 74-8, 70-12 for Tyler. I'm 74-8, 70-12 is Tyler, and 67-14 is Cody over here. Now, if you haven't checked up on the games this week, this is a flip a coin and see which heads it lands on, if it's heads or tails, because it is not an easy pick'em week. This is going to be tough. You really got to dig into the weeds to find out who could potentially win, and then you just throw that away because it doesn't matter, because anybody can win, because there's a lot at stake at this point in the season. You have teams like LSU, Auburn, who are fighting maybe a coach's position, maybe still in position to be in the playoffs. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty, and I love it. I keep telling you guys, I love chaos, and if we can get as much chaos in here as possible, I love it. Love it.
Ole Miss. I picked Ole Miss.
You picked Ole Miss to beat Georgia.
Yeah, that was my shot there to try to make some ground up, because I think both of y'all obviously both picked Georgia. So
we did pick Georgia.
I tried to flip it there.
Yeah, and my upset was for Auburn to beat Missouri, and it just didn't work out. It didn't work out, but that's okay. That's okay. Speaking of Ole Miss, they're our first game to pick. Now, we don't have Tyler's picks. He's going to give them to us, and we'll update you next week on how he did. But for this week, we're going to go through this gauntlet of matchups, and this is SEC football at its best. At 12 o'clock on that ABC slot, we start out with Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Now, both teams are 6-1. This is at Oklahoma. John Mateer, this is his third game back from after the hand surgery, and he's going up against an Ole Miss that put up a dominant showing at Athens, and puts Georgia to really have to win that in the fourth quarter. So, Cody, who do we've got in this game? Now, I will go ahead and tell you, Oklahoma is favored by 5.5.
I'm really not seeing the 5.5 there. I know that we kind of gave Ole Miss's defense a hard time. They just weren't able to stop Georgia and Gunnar Stockton on last Saturday. But I think Ole Miss is the better team overall. Mateer may be ready. He might be healthy. But I still don't think that even with him at 80%, I don't think that they beat Ole Miss. Now, I have seen where Chambliss is going to get another start. Big surprise there. But there's no reason he shouldn't. If you just go off those last 3 drives of the game against Georgia, he was running for his life, so it wasn't necessarily his fault. But and Oklahoma's defense is solid, but I still am going to take Ole Miss on this one.
I'm going to agree with you. If you look at John Mateer in his last 2 games, he is missing really bad to the arm side. If he's having to rotate out of the pocket to his arm side, his body is rotating, like overcompensating for that hand, and he's missing really, really bad. I don't think he's 100%, and that scares me. And I know this is in Oklahoma, but you're playing an Ole Miss team who just went to Athens and was not scared of playing on the road. I think this goes Ole Miss's way. But I do expect it to be a close game. But I do have Ole Miss, and so does Cody. And we don't know what Tyler has, but we'll find out for you guys. Next, we have Alabama at South Carolina, and we've talked about kind of the struggle with this, right? You have Alabama, who has just went the best month in college football history with four top 25 opponents, beat all of them in consecutive weeks
Yep.
with no time off. You sit here and you think, okay, South Carolina, I could take a breath. We've got a bye week next week. And then this is one of those games you walk into and get upset because you're not prepared to play. You're already looking ahead. You're thinking bye week. You're thinking LSU. Cody, how hard is this to keep your guys up and ready to play in this type of environment?
You know, like we said earlier in the week, as a coach, you hate these weeks. You have to coach harder normally, but just from the interviews and things that I've listened to, it seems like Coach DeBoer and even the players have one mindset that this stretch that they were on, that 4-game stretch with the top 25, is not over yet. That South Carolina is definitely within that stretch where they are 100% focused, and just from what I'm reading and seeing from everything, I'm going with Alabama. Just on what they're saying and how they're approaching the week. I looked at the availability report that just came out about an hour ago. The freshman receiver Brooks is now doubtful. And then one of our offensive linemen, one of the offensive linemen is hurt and he is questionable. So if that tells you anything, those two things happened in practice.
Yeah.
So they're still going at it hard at practice to get better. There's still some things that they need to clean up, and I assume that's what they're doing. So, like I said, it's a trap. It's almost like a trap game. We've talked about those, but I think Alabama, 11.5-point spread is a big spread, but I do think Alabama takes the win.
So it absolutely is a trap game. The scary part about this for any Alabama fan is you look at the spread. Mm-hmm. It's a double-digit point favor for Alabama on the road. This is not a good recipe for Kalen DeBoer since he's been to Alabama. Remember, he lost at Vanderbilt, double-digit favorite. He lost at Oklahoma, double-digit favorite. He lost in the bowl game to Michigan, a double-digit favorite. He lost at Florida State this year, double-digit favorite. This game may not look pretty. I think Alabama wins it just because on paper they absolutely should. But it should scare Alabama fans because this is a type of scenario that haunts college football programs for years. So I'm going to pick Alabama, but it could really go the other way very quickly.
Sure could.
So we've got next game. I think this is going to be a pretty good matchup. This is going to be Texas at Mississippi State. Arch Manning still trying to figure it out at the college level. Still trying to be the quarterback at Texas. And like I said, when I did my video by myself that was released last night, Steve Sarkisian, he apologized and took responsibility. And my question was, what are you apologizing for? Are you apologizing because you are sitting there with poor game planning, which I don't think it is poor game planning, or are you sitting there because you've put too much confidence and thrown all your eggs in a basket of a kid who just hasn't panned out? This could be a make or break for Arch Manning. If you lose to Mississippi State at Mississippi State, get ready for the torches and pitchforks from the Texas fan base because they are coming.
And at that point, you have lost to the top or the bottom two feeders of the SEC this year. You've lost to Florida, and then you would have at this point you would lose to Mississippi State. So yeah, you can't lose to those teams this year. and not have some people coming for your head.
Yeah. So, Cody, who do you got in this game?
And I don't think that's going to happen. I think Texas takes care of business. As much as I love the cowbells and want them to ring loud, it is at Mississippi State. I like Texas in this because they've kind of played themselves at least back into the conversation that teams are that they can have. They're 5-2, so they can still play themselves into conversations. They need help, but they're still there.
So Texas is a 6.5 point favorite in this game. Now, if you remember correctly, Arizona State came into Mississippi and got beat by these Bulldogs. I'm going to pick Texas, but I am cheering for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. I want them. They have not won a conference game in 2 years. It is time. And I'm rooting for the underdog. I'm going to pick Texas just because it's a safe pick. But I am rooting for these Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Come on, you got a few games on us.
I know. But at this point, it's just about playing with the lead, right? Coaches, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're playing with the lead.
Conservative.
Yeah, that's what I've got to do. Now, this game right here. This game is a tough game. Here's why. It's Texas A&M and LSU. You have Texas A&M, who for the first time since the 90s is 7-0. You have an LSU team who may be fighting for their coach's job at this point. Because if what's his name?
Brian
Kelly, not Les Miles. I wanted to say it again. I wanted to say it again. If Brian Kelly loses to Texas A&M, that puts them at 3 losses. 3 losses on the year. On the LSU team that was picked to maybe finish 1 or 2 in the SEC. Mm-hmm. The expectation was there, and if you can't live up to it, that's a problem in LSU. And you haven't been able to live up to it since you've been there. And there was a lot of promises made with a fake country accent. Cody, who do you have in this? Texas A&M is favored by 2.5 points, but this is a night game
in LSU
at Death Valley.
I don't think the night game or the noise is going to bother Texas A&M just because they have the 12th man. They're used to the loud noise. What does shock me is how close the spread is here. And I wonder if that's because Texas A&M's defense still is wishy-washy on when they want to play and when they don't want to play. I think it will be a closer game than what maybe I'm imagining. I think I'm picking A&M, but it may be a 3-point game. Could be.
This is, like I said, this is a tough one. You have a team who has nothing to lose, and you have a team that could afford to lose. So, I mean, you've got a team with a back against the wall, and a team that's sitting pretty. It's a tough game to pick. I'm gonna pick Texas A&M on this one. And the reason why I'm going to pick Texas A&M on this one is because I've rode Texas A&M very hard this year. And I think that this is going to be the year that they break into the SEC championship game. Because they haven't been yet. Mm-mm. They haven't been. Since they've been in the SEC, they have not been. And I think this may be the year. Now, the game that I'm worried about with them is Missouri.
They always have their collapse. They start out strong, and then they have a collapse. And this is a little bit longer than what they're used to, but there's a lot of Texas A&M fans that'll tell you, and Cody Stevens has told me this at least once or twice, if not 100 times. It's going to happen at some point. They feel like it's just history that they start off strong and they can't finish. And so, but I'm going to stick with them.
Yeah.
I think this is. I don't think this might be the game that gets them over the top.
Well, I find it hard to say that. I mean, LSU has lost. They're coming off the road, lost at Vandy. They're coming home. They lost to Clemson in what it looks to be Clemson's worst start in a decade. No, they beat Clemson.
Yeah,
They beat Clemson.
they're undefeated. Who are you talking about?
LSU.
Oh, sorry. I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, they didn't play, but yes, yeah,
they beat Clemson.
Yeah.
So their other loss was to Ole Miss. Ole Miss. So they've got 2 SEC losses. They lost to Ole Miss. I'm sorry, and they lost to Vanderbilt. Texas A&M, I feel like, is a better team than both of those teams. So this one, I feel very confident about. It may be one of my confident picks this week. It's Tennessee at Kentucky. Tennessee is an 8.5 point favorite over Kentucky. 8.5 point favorite. Coming off of a loss in Tuscaloosa. Backs are kind of against the wall. Kentucky's trying to play spoiler, but they've got nothing to lose.
Are you a little surprised by the spread there?
That it's not bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Kentucky's not going to put up points.
Well, they hadn't been, but since they've started this new quarterback, they've been playing a lot better offensively.
They have been playing a lot better
now,
offensively.
granted, they still hadn't won, but they have definitely been playing better.
Played better with Georgia. They played Texas very close.
So maybe they're seeing something at only 8.5, but I think it's probably close to 15+ point game. So I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah, I think you just got to go to Tennessee. There's too much firepower, and we haven't seen that in the last 3 weeks with Tennessee. I think we see it some this weekend against Kentucky. Their defense is a little shaky. Their offense spits and sputters a little bit. That quarterback that Cody mentioned, I mean, he definitely can put up some numbers, but getting into the end zone just hasn't been their specialty. So I'm going to take Tennessee on this. And I've kind of waited on this game. This is not the game of the week. I kind of passed it up.
I was about to say, we missed one.
But it's a big game. This is a big game with a lot of implications, right? Yep. It is Auburn at Arkansas. And I've said it a couple of times already this week, but if Auburn loses, this is my take. Hugh Freeze is gone. If Auburn can't get past a Arkansas team who is 2-5, who has already fired their coach, and who has Bobby Petrino back in the saddle there at Arkansas, I don't see the board. I don't see the AD staying with Hugh Freeze.
They have to be struggling with some confidence there to continue to send him out there. And I told y'all 2 weeks ago, I think he's lost the locker room. I really do. When he kicked off one of his captains, I think he lost the locker room. I really do. Have you looked at the spread of this game?
Well, yeah, I have.
3.5 for Arkansas. Arkansas's favored 3.5.
Yeah.
So
it's at the pig pen.
I mean, Bobby Trino may roll out on his hog. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
With a cheerleader on the back.
That'd be sketchy.
But if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the weather's supposed to be pretty bad. If I'm not mistaken, day before, I want to say it's supposed to rain pretty good here in Arkansas. I think I've seen something about it on Twitter. But I'm going. I picked Arkansas. I have them written down for Arkansas. I like what Bobby's doing there. He's got a really talented offense, which he's always been known for. So if the defense can just play strong enough, I think they'll slow down Jackson Arnold.
Here's the weather. at 12:45 in Fayetteville, Arkansas. 56 degrees and rain.
I thought it was supposed to be raining. I thought that's what I saw. I thought that was the game that everybody kept talking about the weather.
56 degrees and rain.
And you know who I like then for sure? Definitely Arkansas, because they turn around and hand the ball off.
Yeah, and they've got a quarterback that's very mobile.
Yeah, but that running back is special.
He is special.
Washington?
So, I tried last week, guys, and Auburn looked terrible and still almost came away with a win. Missouri looked awful. But I've went with Arkansas twice, and it's failed me. Listen, I've got 7 losses on the year, and 2 of them are from Auburn. 7.
You want to make it number 3?
Absolutely not. I'm going with the Hogs. I'm going with the Hogs. And I know you want me to change it up, and you want me to go something different.
Yeah, because we picked the same teams.
Every game. I understand.
How am I supposed to pick up a game?
Because you don't. I'm playing to win at this point. But let me tell you something. Hugh Freeze, I know you're not watching, but by some chance that you fumble across this little small town, Saturdays on Lonas Lane, you're a good coach. You're a good coach. You haven't been able to recruit the way you recruited 5 years ago at Ole Miss. You haven't been able to instill your play of football in this group of kids. You did it at Ole Miss 5 years ago before you got fired for texting people or calling up escorts on campus phone. And then you went to Liberty and had a great turnout there, and they're still playing great because you instilled a great football program. But you have not been able to do it at Auburn. And for you to be successful, Hugh Freeze, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take you being able to instill the type of football you want them to play and recruiting the way you know how to recruit. You haven't been able to do it at Auburn, and I don't think you're going to get the chance to after this weekend.
We may see a different quarterback at some point Saturday for Auburn.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold is, he's trash. Absolute trash.
He might be close to the bottom of the barrel at.
Oh, his QBR is the lowest in the SEC.
He's got to be one of the lowest ones in the whole conference.
So here we go. Game of the week. This is amazing. I love it. We're going to Nashville. It is Missouri versus Vanderbilt. Both one-loss team. Both lost to Alabama in their stretch of a crazy 4-game stretch. They both lost to Alabama. For the first time, they're both sitting pretty in an opportunity to go to the SEC championship game. This will determine their season. One person will continue on that track while the other will not. I don't believe a 3-loss Vandy or 2-loss would be a 2-loss Vandy or 2-loss Missouri gets much of a look if you can't win this game. Vandy is favored.
They are.
Not by much.
What is it, 2.5?
2.5. It opened at 2.5. It has stayed at 2.5. It hasn't moved.
The money must be coming in on Missouri.
Are you thinking Diego Pavia? Or are you thinking yeah. Yep.
Bo Pabulia?
Yep.
Somebody that's kind of went missing, and I may change my pick here. Somebody that's kind of went missing the last 2 weeks is a running back at Missouri. He didn't have many rushing yards last week either.
Oh, he had his worst rushing performance against Auburn.
Yeah, so that if that guy shows up, that's a different team for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you're looking at a very disciplined Vanderbilt defense.
That's what I'm saying. If he showed up, That's a when he's there and playing as well as he, that is a different Missouri team.
But I think you're misinterpreting this. I don't think that he has just went missing. He has played better physical defenses these last 2 weeks in Alabama and in Auburn. Auburn, yes, your defense has kept you in the games, which is why they've been so close.
Give me Vandy.
I'm sorry I was able to keep you in line. But that's what it is. That's what it is. You're playing a very physical and disciplined defense. Probably one of the most disciplined defense. They're not going to give up the big play. You're going to have to march it down the field strategically to beat this Vandy team. And that's the only reason Alabama was able to beat them. Ty Simpson was able to just kind of nitpick, and it was death by 1,000 cuts. And that's how you beat a team like Vandy. And I don't think Missouri will be able to do it. I don't think Bo will be able to keep it up. I'm going to pick Vandy to win, and I think Vandy covers the spread, and they may win by 7.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible.
So they're riding high. You come off a game with LSU where you just beat them. You come off after losing to Alabama. It's great. It's a great matchup, and I think Vandy is able to do it. And Vandy after this game, you're going to be looking. Vandy doesn't play, of course, Alabama anymore. They don't play Georgia. Mm-hmm. They don't play Texas A&M, where Missouri still has to play Texas A&M. Their schedule is very favorable. If we just look at the rest of Vandy's schedule, if you get by this one, you play Auburn, you play Texas, you play Kentucky, and you play Tennessee. Tennessee may be looking at you as a very, very difficult opponent, but it's a game that you can even win then, even though you go to Neyland Stadium. I'm not high on the Longhorns. I'm just not. I'm not high on Auburn. Kentucky, Tennessee will be your next serious opponent. I think Vandy's going to be favored to win in all of those, except apparently, Cody, you told me in Texas the spread has already came out where Texas is favored.
I have seen a spread, an opening where Texas is the favorite, and I think it was 3.5.
Yeah, they're favored right now by 71%.
But I think it's a 3.5 point spread. Vegas has got them there. But hey, listen, we really appreciate you tuning in and watching. Hey, in the comments and either in YouTube or on Facebook.
Yep.
We want to hear your picks for this week. Tyler's going to put his in the comments. Hopefully, we'll probably do it on Facebook. Do it on our Facebook page. Make sure it's on the actual page and not a share page, so we don't try to track you down. I want to do something. I'll give away a free Lonus Legacy cattle hat for the winner of the week. If we get a bunch of you, pick some. I've got some hats. Big sponsor for us, obviously.
And you've seen them on the show because we've worn them.
We wear them plenty of times. I've got some extra ones, and would love to get that out there. So, comment your picks. Best picks gets a hat.
There you have it. You can't beat free stuff. Go out there and do it. Pick your games. It's as easy as that. It's a chance to win something. Unlike me, that wins nothing. Throw it out there. Have a chance. Well, guys, that's all the time we have. We thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. Leave us a comment. We want to know what you think. Until next time, remember, it is always Saturday on Lonus Lane. Hope y'all have a great day.